Hey everybody, welcome to Tech Talk to host Rick Smith. This is the place to learn how to run your IT service business in-person shop, or you're leading a team for the journey. This is the place for you. I'd like to give a warm welcome to my co-host, Paco Lebron. Paco, how are you today, sir?
Boy, I'm more tired than a termite in a wooden yo-yo, as I like to say.
Listen, working hard. Well, you know what? That's really a good thing. If you're working hard and you're tired, that means you're making money. So
let's hope. Let's hope my
yeah,
billing
let's
is
hope.
done
Well,
properly.
I guess the other way, and this is what we're talking about here, is if you're working hard and you're spinning your wheels and you ain't making no money, then we got to address that and figure out a way to change it.
Yep,
Hey, before Pac and I get started today, we want to give a quick shout out to our upcoming event, TechCon Unplugged. TechCon Unplugged is September 16th to the 18th at the Hilton Rosemont, Chicago, right here. There you're going to learn from other like-minded business owners in panels and breakout sessions. You're going to gain key takeaways from from partners and vendors in the space. Lost my train of thought. And my favorite part, you get to experience those one-to-one or spontaneous group conversations, as Paco likes to say, and I'm starting to believe it too, is where the magic happens. Tickets are $2.99 and can be purchased at TechCon Unplugged. We look forward to seeing you all there. And I do want to remind everyone, there are some for Facebook Patreon members. There is a discount code for you there, and a couple of other places which we will keep you abreast upon. But anyway, we look forward
to maybe go over to our good friends over at the IT Business Podcast, Marvin B. I don't know. He may have something. You might want to talk to the host and MC. He may be able to hook you up. So might want to check over there too. But go ahead, Rick.
Oh no, I just want to encourage everyone again. Just we're looking forward to it. We're working very hard to make this the best TechCon Unplugged that we've had. So I'm looking forward to seeing everyone. So go out and get your tickets, and we'll see you there. Well, Paco, I know you had a rough day today, so we'll try to keep it quick and brief. But how's everything going?
Things are good. We are kind of trucking and rolling. We got a couple office moves. We got a couple things going on here and there. New hires starting to get kind of used to how we're doing things here. So far it's been pretty good. We've been, again, just trying to keep up with all the demand that is being asked of us today. But really quick, before we side rail our conversation here, I know Paul asked a question here. Paul, I know you had commented on our videos in the past. I wonder if you have missed the video. So if you check out New Year, New Me, it will kind of explain what happened with Jeff Hallish. Jeff Hallish is actually no longer part of MSP Unplugged, but you'll get more details as to why that is the case. So just getting that question out of the way as we kind of move forward to our topic of the day.
Okay. And our topic of the day came actually from an email we received from a listener who basically told us, hey, enjoy the show, but they'd like to hear us do a little bit more, talk a little bit more about residential service. And so, as quote unquote MSPs, the gist of what we're supposed to do is mainly based on service and business clients. But at TechCon Unplugged, at MSP Unplugged, the whole purpose of this is, again, one-man show to larger MSPs. And some people are still making that transition. Some are just break fix and going to remain that way. And, we'd like to address all and try to think that a lot of the things we talk about can work both ways. Of course, there's some different things that happen in break fix. You're not, there's no RMM unless you make it that way. Excuse me. But most of what we talk about here, we feel is really about running your business, and we feel a lot of it overlaps with both sides, basically both sides of the coin. Now, Paco, I know you at present do not do any more residential work, correct?
That is correct. So, and then kind of going off of what you said too, I think that what we're trying to drive home with the show, right? Because I think a lot of people kind of freaked out when we did the rebranding back when it was Computer Repair Podcast to MSP Unplugged. I think the key part of the MSP Unplugged, being the unplugged part, is that you don't have to run your business as a typical, what's advertised as a managed service provider, as a MSP. However, I do understand that there are those that are following us that are more, like you said, break fix, or consider themselves computer repair shops, or may not be considered MSPs, right? And some of the content that we have, vendors that we have, are kind of geared toward more MSPs, but kind of like what you just said, we truly believe that there are quite a few of the topics and vendors that we talk about can be applied to both. And I think that, with the conscious effort of understanding that, we'll try and get back to talking about other those topics of residential and other things as well. But like you said, for me, it's kind of hard to think back on a lot of that residential services, because we did kind of get rid of all of our residential clients that we currently have right now. Our main focus is now monthly recurring services that we provide to small businesses, specifically either in the legal healthcare or private healthcare space. That's kind of been our main focus probably now for the past year to 2 years. Residential clients kind of went to the wayside behind that, and not because we didn't want to deal with residential clients, because everyone has their own unique flavor, we'll say. I think that the biggest piece was, in order for us to standardize and make predictable not only revenue but income, we had to make that switch. At least that's the decision that I wanted to make for our business. But I know that there are others that have a combination of both, which I think you on your camp, you do have a combination of both. You do have small businesses and residential as well. So I think for the topic of this conversation or this episode, we'll dive a little bit more into the residential realm and kind of figure out, how can you make predictable income, right? Or how can you continue to keep supporting residential clients, because they need help too, right? So I guess we can probably dive in a little bit more on really just how have you made residential work for you right now?
Right. And full disclosure, I am not taking on any new residential clients unless they come as referrals from a current client. Now, my situation is this. I started this business in 2003. So I was doing, I've been doing break fix residential, taking basically residential and businesses from then up until 2015, when I went to and really, excuse me, started to enact the MSP model. So I had a lot of clients that I had been doing business with for years. I explained to those clients, hey, and it's just funny. I explained to those residential clients, hey, my business model has changed. I'm no longer going to be dealing with the residential. I gave them a few recommendations of places they could go. Now, what do you think happened? First time something goes wrong, they picked up the phone and they called me. And, the first, hey, I'll fix it this time, but, I'm not doing this anymore. And then it just continued and continued and continued. So, and people on here have probably heard me say this before. One of the things that I found exhilarating, I guess, about break fix or residential services, I always felt that it keeps you sharp. I always felt that you sometimes never know what you're going to run into with a residential client. When you have a computer to fix. I mean, I'm sure there's stories that everyone who's ever done break fix can tell us about some spectacularly unusual things, some spectacularly challenging things, and just some fun stories. So for me, it's been that. So I decided, hey, I'm not taking on any new residential clients, but I will support the current residential clients I have, or the current what I also call the small home-based business clients. Now, I do that with with the managed service spend in hand. I try to sell to them, or present to them, hey, I will continue to service your machine if something goes wrong, but hey, let's take some steps to prevent it. So the same, or some of the same tools, or the same process of protecting our business clients, we can use to protect those residential clients. So, some of these same products we use, or we can install on their machine, charge that same fee or charge a fee. It's a little different how it breaks down, because mostly what I do is charge a yearly fee to say, hey, I will monitor your system for you. I can throw my arm in on the machine. I can give you, a managed antivirus where we will watch what's going on for you. I can provide backup for you. Make you put your computer in a safe, stable environment. If something goes wrong, I can remote in and fix it. Now, that is the way I am approaching residential. Every now and then I get the call that, hey, something's broken. I physically have to go, either go on site or have the computer brought to me. But 9 times out of 10, what happens is I just do the business as if they were a managed service client. Now, yes, is it a little more demanding? Yes. Is it I measured this last year, and I was trying to see, is the frequency of calls more than what I get from my business clients? And the answer to that is no. If done correctly, you don't the volume of calls or the volume of what they say, constant barrage by clients with questions is held to a minimum. If you keep the system running, they like everyone else, they just want the system running, safe, secure, efficiently, no problems. And you if you can do that, then you're pretty much golden with it. So that's been
Until
my
their
approach
grandson
to it.
comes with the PlayStation to plug it into the network.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, there's always that, but hey, again, there's always, again, that goes back to those challenges that come up, and and I will, for the most part, a lot of times will answer those questions. I will say this though too, and I don't know if this has worked out. It wasn't done purposely. If it has worked out, so it may have been subconsciously. The majority of my quote unquote residential customers that have some sort of um, in-home contract with us, or some kind of protection deal with a protection contract with us, they do some business, like they run maybe a one-person business, or something like that. So a lot of them are that, or not necessarily they're not on a business network. They're not running a slew of line of business software, but they are running some type of business. So that kind of helps as well with the whole falling into the model. But my whole point is, I don't think, it's a choice, right? For every MSP, it's a choice if you want to take on the residential side. If you don't, I know a lot of MSPs who had always had storefronts, right? And they transitioned to MSP, but they kept the storefront. So, I'm in New Jersey. If I Google computer repair, or, walk down the street, I can walk in walking distance past 4 shops that service computers. So I will, if a person calls now, for some reason, even though there's nothing on my website that says, you know, that I continue to do computer repair or in-home service, I will still get phone calls. So those clients I will refer out to one of those shops. Now, the other reason I answer the phone and talk to the client all the time is this: you never know if that person who calls has a business as well, right? You never know if that person who calls is a business, right? They call, you answer, you talk to them, and a receptionist, a secretary will call with a problem. And this has happened to me on more than one occasion, where I thought I was talking to someone about their home. And it turns out this computer she's talking about was, in the business, in their office. So there's also a way to, go in. If you can do the repair, do the fix, it's a way to qualify that business, that person, as if they're a good lead to get a potentially get a business contract with. So that's been my approach. I don't have any I'll put it this way. I don't miss the residential side, like the hustle bustle of it. But at the same time, I don't mind on occasion just taking a job to do it, because sometimes it's just, again, it's not even about the money, it's about the challenge. It's about, just sometimes you need that distraction because it's a little different than what we deal with every day. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. And I mean, I think you also have said it multiple times too that having residential clients keeps you sharp on a lot of the stuff that's kind of going on right now, whether that's updates or whatever. What I can tell you is that I think from what I can remember, I also did something similar to what you did. So at the time I was using Ninja RMM or Ninja One, which now is known as Ninja. Wait, hold on. What am I saying?
Now it's Ninja One.
Now is Ninja One, but at the time was Ninja RMM. So I was using their RMM system at the time 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. Combined with Repair Shopper and I was tying in I don't remember what I was using back then. I think I was using Bitdefender at the time or Malwarebytes, one of the two. I was tying one of their endpoint systems. So, and that was what I did. So what my pitch to the residential side was, okay, once I would repair a computer, it really depended on what the sale was, right? So, for example, when I had a computer that came in from a residential client and they needed a hard drive replacement, right? How I would look at that is I would go ahead, take a look, and if the computer was, I don't know, a laptop screen replacement, or if it was a hard drive replacement, out the bat, 50, 60 bucks, 70 bucks at the time, plus 150 bucks to repair it, depending on what the rate was. I had different rates for different things. So if the laptop wasn't worth 250 bucks or however much it was for data recovery, and I can't remember what my rates were at the time, but I know I would compare it. And like, if it was an extra 100 or 200 bucks more, then I would say, look, you have this old computer. Let me get you a refurb. It's a little bit older, but newer than what you have. It'll be solid. It'll be a business class laptop. It'll last longer, etc. And 9 times out of 10, the client would go ahead and pay for it. But what I would also do is then I would add a quote unquote warranty, right? So if I was doing a virus removal, for example, if I did a virus removal, I would add what I would call our protection plan. That was our warranty that we had after the virus removal, because everyone wanted to ask, well, how do I know if it's going to happen again? So we had our 30-day warranty, but for virus removals, we had 90-day warranty, and that we would include the AV, patching of the system, and monitoring the hardware. So we would go ahead and do that. And that was kind of how we sold it. And I think we sold it for like $10 a month or something like that. And so it was like $120 a year. So a lot of people at the time were like, well, I can go and get an AV for $60. I was like, well, yeah, you could, but we can update your system. We'll monitor your hardware, make sure, we get alerts if something were happening. And that's what they loved. They loved the ability to know that they had someone watching their back and really understanding what was kind of going on. And I was really using the same tools that I was using for my small businesses at the time too, but I just kind of packaged it and turned it into something different. Something that Tom Bull taught me informed me or told me about when we were talking about sales and salespeople and stuff. And he was telling me about the importance on branding. And I forgot what it was that he had mentioned at the time, but he called something that was like this really cool name, and then all it was really just Microsoft 365 and backup. But so everyone hears it, they're like, oh, well, I got to get that, and he was saying that he was really able to do that on a consistent basis. And it's the same thing, like if you have someone that comes in and they have a data recovery job, right, and the computer died and you needed to go ahead and get something going for that. I used to have a diagnostic fee, and what I would do is basically say, all right, well, the laptop's toast, but your drive is solid. I can either do a data recovery to another hard drive for you, or I can throw this thing into a SATA hard drive case, and you'll have an external hard drive, for an extra $20. So that, it cost me $15. I got $100 for the diagnostic fee and that, and I was on my way. It was like 15 minutes worth of work to get that hard drive out of the system, unless it was a Dell that I had to take the whole damn thing apart and get the hard drive underneath the motherboard. But, that's a whole nother story. But that was kind of some of the things that we did on our side. And just, again, running a lot of the real cool tools that I kind of miss running at the time, because I think at the time I was running can't remember if it was D7 or Tech Bench, ProdigyTeks Tech Bench, and I forgot what it's called now. But it was their Tech Suite system that was really cool. That
Wasn't like
scanned.
Kabuto? Isn't that?
And it wasn't Kabuto. Kabuto was their alerting system for like a kind of a quasi RMM, but it was a thing where you can do a USB drive, plug it in, scan the system. It'll give you like a whole nice report. That was really cool. So I used that a lot. PC Doctor was a big thing that a lot of people used, until I realized that a lot of the PC Doctor stuff is embedded in a lot of the OEM systems. It's literally the same software. So ended up using that more than PC Doctor. That was a really great tool that we had. And along with just some of the others, Night, downloading a lot of those apps on computers. If you paid for it, you can download a whole bunch of other apps. If you use the free version, you had one place to kind of tick, download, boom, run one installer, install all your applications at that point. So we leveraged a lot of those in our just cleanups and setups and things of that nature. And then the ever lovable iFixit. I used to use a lot of their tool set. I think I even still have two of them that I carry around with me, because they're probably some of the best screwdriver sets that I've had in a long time. That really helped our clients. But actually, I could show you this. This is my very first screwdriver kit that I still have to this day. And I bought this off of a website. I forgot what it was called at the time. Like those like slickdeals.net or one sale a day or whatever. That was what I had with this. So it was super cool to have that. Still have it. Probably my most favorite screwdriver that I've had. I've had this thing for well over 15 years, 20 years, probably, maybe 15 years, probably. But still have it. It's been it's usually my go-to on what I go for my screwdriver kit. Love the handle. That's kind of been my thing in the shop here / office. But the iFixit, you can't go wrong with that either.
Yeah, I love the iFixit kit. I have one. I remember when I always kept one in my bag, just always had one in my backpack. And I was going to Michigan to TechCon. What was that, 3 years ago? It was 3 years ago I was in Michigan.
Yep, in 2019.
And they took it from me at the airport. It was in my backpack and I forgot. And they took it because of the screwdriver and everything, the sharp edges.
Mm-hmm.
So they took it, they confiscated it at the airport, which I was pissed about. So I had to order another one. That just sticks out in my mind. I was like, wow. And I always remember now when I'm traveling to clear out my bag and to take it out so that they don't they don't get me.
Right.
They don't get it again. Gotcha. But a lot of the tools, I remember when Malwarebytes came out with the Tech Bench, right? TechWaru was the other one you were talking about, right?
TechWaru, yep, that's what it was. Right. And then I think they renamed it to Tech Suite Windows something or other. I forgot what it's called. But yeah, TechWaru was what it was called before.
Right. And all of those tools are still, they're relevant. There's a big break fix market. And I still have, it comes in handy when something comes up and you have to do some on-site work. Fab's auto backup is always useful. What else?
Tech Suite Windows. I just looked it up right now. Tech Suite Windows app, and then there was the Tech Suite online dashboard. And there used to be a USB, but I guess they discontinued that.
Right. And those tools are still, it's funny. I don't know why this happens, and I've been meaning to. And this is a little off subject, but I've been meaning to figure this out. Somewhere, somebody still has Kabuto installed on their machine because I still get a Kabuto alert, but it just says I cannot figure out who it is because it just says owner PC. So I don't know. I can't.
So you don't even know who it is,
right? I don't know what client this is that still has it and is still reporting back, which I think is hilarious. But funny. So the whole purpose is there's a space, obviously, because people buy computers for their home all the time. So there's definitely a space for computer repair.
Yep.
Um, for residential computer repair and computer service.
Hmm.
I have just chosen to take it where, I'm trying to offer the contracted model to those residential computer repairs. I know, you brought up Tom. I know Tom does residential service. And I think his he says it like his company's, I don't know if his tagline or explain what the word is, the marketing word, but he says it, residential and business computer service and repair. So, there's definitely a market for it. I'm sure there's some people listening to us or watching who also are users who also are still somewhat into residential service or computer repair. I'll just say computer repair because I think that encompasses the residential market and the business market. But
Yeah.
so I definitely don't have I don't shy. Let's rephrase that. I don't delve into business anymore. I'm not advertising as a computer repair shop, but I will service those clients. And if something comes up again, if somebody refers me to something, and if I'm not doing nothing or it's not going to be a big deal, I will take it on every now and then, just again for the challenge.
Yeah. No, I think that this should be an ongoing conversation, and I think that for those that are computer repair shops, solo IT service providers, kind of doing all kinds of gambits, hybrid shops, we'd love to hear your opinion. We'd love to have you come on the show and really talk about kind of how you're running your business, right? Because I think there's a lot of the audience that is mixed, right? There are those that are trying to grow into this managed service providing realm that they've kind of labeled in the industry. And then there are those that are trying to go onto their own beat of their drum on a different term, or, they are trying to get, a different avenues because they like to have different uh, paths of income, right? You have your computer repair shop, you have managed services, probably managed print. So, diversifying the way you're making your money, and not putting all your eggs in one basket. So we'd love to hear from you all as well. Even down to, I think I was listening to Marvin's podcast the other day with Sean Lardo, who's over at ConnectWise now, and they were really talking about how finances and understanding businesses and like what are you going to do for yourself first versus you trying to figure out how do I grow my business to X revenue, right? Like, have you figured out what your short-term disability insurance is? Have you figured out what you are trying to do on medical insurance and making sure that you as the business owner are okay and taken care of if something happens, and then focusing on kind of growing in biz. So I'm paraphrasing. I would check out that episode over at IT Business Podcast. But it just speaks to there's so many different ways to view how you run business, but it all comes down to doing what you find that makes you happy. So whether that's lifestyle, whether that is growing into something else, or legacy, there's all encompass on how you want to try and do things, at least from how I see it.
Right. Definitely. And I think it's again, like you say, it's a matter of choice, a matter of what you feel, and and what makes you, again, this is a business, so what makes you money? If that side of the business is where you want to go and where you find success, you know there's definitely a market for it, because there's always going to be people buying computers, needing them fixed, and
Mm-hmm.
figuring out. And I'll tell you this, I always say this too: residents find some interesting ways to break machines down. You know what I mean? And
This is true.
I'll yes, and I always found that fascinating. I'd be like, how the hell did this happen? And the other thing that I was thinking about, how we as servicing businesses, you're on this rotation of 3 to 5 years. I'd say more so, let's say 4 years is in the middle, where you tell clients, hey, you tell your business clients it's time to rotate your machines out, right? Time to get to it's time to get new machines, upgrade. If you go to residential locations, sometimes they will have machines that they have lasted 10 years, 12 years. And this thing is still chugging. It's still chugging. And, I just find that, it's fascinating. And, but they, the thing is, you try to explain to them the challenges of, when you're doing something, it's like, wow, this is slow. They go, really? To them, it's not slow. It's not, it's just what it is, right? But we're like, whoa, man, we're
like those
watching
old
paint dry
school
with this thing.
those old school Dell purple and black ones that have been on for like over 15 years.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, or purple and gray ones, whichever they were, or gray and black. Yeah, those are definitely some test of time, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. They're dinosaurs now, but they're working, walking, living dinosaurs. But and that's interesting though. Like they people are keeping them, and for a lot of people, you realize too, it's like, hey, if it ain't broke, I don't need to fix it. So they just they don't feel the need to move. For us, it goes back to what you said though. It's like when you call me to fix a machine that's 10 years old, it's going to cost more for me to walk in the door than it is than the machine is probably worth at that time. So that's the conversation you got to have. And, it's like, that is the part where it's just a little different. But, there's a market. I'm going to continue to say that there's definitely a market for it out there.
That is for sure.
Okay, Paco, I know you're winding down here today, and it's been a very long day. And so with that, I'll ask, is there anything else you want to talk about before we close out tonight?
Nope, just going to steal Rick's spiel that we want to hear from you. We want to hear from all of the beautiful people that are listening to us in this fine programming. You can head over to MSPUnplugged.com, hit us on the Contact Us page, or you can shoot us an email at info@MSPUnplugged.com. Again, we loved your feedback. We want to be able to hear everything that you have to say about the show. You can always stop over at your favorite podcatcher, leave us a review, help us get found by other like-minded business owners as well. But outside of that, want to hear your input, hear what's going on. As Rick always mentions, we are working on TechCon this year. Made some very good headway earlier today. There's going to be a lot of updates coming out here soon. So we're going to have a very good jelly-packed show and that weekend of the 16th to the 18th. So definitely proud of what definitely proud of what we got going through. We could not be here without the community. We got a good content committee team that's really helping voice a lot of those opinions. And when we assembled this committee, we did not grab just all MSPs, right? We wanted to make sure we got different demographics and viewpoints of all. So we have one-man shops, one-man MSP, managed service provider, IT service providers, those that are running businesses with employees. We got a mix of everything. So this show will have hopefully something for you to find that's going to be beneficial. And just if not, it'll be a lot of great times with good people that you've seen in the previous years.
Sounds good. And the call out again, anybody wants to come on the show, hit us up. You're more than welcome. We love the company. Love to have a third or fourth person talking, and you can hear more than just me and Paco spewing out our stuff each week. But again, I want to thank everyone for listening. Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday. You can watch the video podcast at youtube.com/MSP Unplugged or facebook.com/MSP Unplugged. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification button to know when new episodes are coming available. You can also take us on the go with your favorite podcatcher apps. We're on Amazon Music, Spotify, and Apple Podcatcher. I finally started listening to a lot more podcasts on Spotify. So, so you can catch us there. And I want to thank everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time on MSP Unplugged. Good evening.